Hey everyone, it's Charlie Morgan here and welcome back to the YouTube channel where today I'm going to be showing you how to basically create a more compelling offer. And I'm going to show you how to do this in a way that you'll have never seen before, and it's something that you'll probably have never even thought about. I'm not going to tell you to add another percentage point onto what you're already offering or to lower your cost per lead or the time frame or any of that stuff. I'm going to walk you through a pretty fundamental understanding of what people want and how to actually give it to them, or at least create a sales argument that compels them to believe that you can give it to them, okay? So a lot of this revolves around the idea of identity transformations, okay? You might be thinking, Charlie, what the fuck does identity have to do with offer? Well, it's absolutely paramount you understand how this works if you don't know how it works, because, well, it's one of the main things that we've used to create really compelling offers for multiple businesses that we've been able to scale to 7 figures. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Charlie. I've built and scaled an agency called NorthFlow Consulting. We've signed over 350 clients, and now I help other agency owners basically do what I've done, which is build systems to reliably scale and basically have more fun and sort of take the sting out of running an agency. Don't worry, I'm not here to send you through to a webinar or a 997 course. This video is purely to help you. So let's dive into this thing. So basically, identity transformation. Now, understanding something to do with psychology in terms of identity is really, really important when it comes to running a business, because you might be thinking, well, why do I need to know how identity works to run a business? Well, what you've got to realize is that when someone, how do I phrase this? Okay, so you want your agency to be a vehicle for someone to undergo a transformation of personal, magnitude. So what I mean by that is that if you are selling something or serving someone or offering something, it needs to be an offer that takes them from where they are to where they want to go in their business, right? We all know that. That's quite common sense. We need to recognize where they are financially, where they want to be financially, and we need to bridge the gap between those 2 points. That's the overarching philosophy for sales, at least a successful sales philosophy, in my opinion. But what we've got to realize is that the money, it's a bit deeper than the money. So if someone's doing 10 grand a month, they want to get to 100 grand a month, that's a good enough thing to be able to bridge. But what we've got to actually realize is the transformation of self and identity that underpins these 2 points. And what we've got to recognize is that going from this point to this point is actually more to do with what happens in the person's internal psyche and how they actually develop as a human. So what I'm going to do is hop onto Miro on my computer and walk you through this in visual format so you can visualize how this works. Now, to give you an example of this, when you create your offer, you want to have a tangible sort of approach where you can guarantee a set amount of results, albeit appointments or leads or ROAS or conversion rates or whatever it might be. And that's fine. But when it comes to actually selling and going ahead and selling your offer and getting on a sales call, you need to understand what sort of identity transformation you help people achieve. So this is quite obvious and easy when you look at the weight loss space. So if you take someone who's obese and they weigh, I don't actually know what, let's say you take someone like a woman who could be like 120 kilograms, right? And she's in a mid 20s or mid 30s or whatever. That would be considered overweight against the BMI standards of the NHS here in the UK. Nothing against that, of course. I'm not going to get cancelled, but let's just take someone who's overweight who weighs like 120 kg, morbidly obese. Now, if a personal trainer helps that person get down to 60 kilograms over the course of a few years, then that's obviously a dramatic shift in weight. But the secret is to understand that it's a dramatic shift in identity, right? When that overweight person buys the personal training or the vehicle for them to actually achieve the outcome they want, they're buying, of course, the slimmer body and they're buying themselves being thinner, but underneath that, unconsciously, they're buying the transformation of identity that is achieved through losing the weight. And so the weight loss actually serves as a psychological mechanism. It's like a vehicle for self-development and improvement. And that's really what we're driven for and driven by as humans, especially entrepreneurs and people who run businesses. We are fundamentally driven by the North Star of growth. And if we don't see growth, it panics us and stresses us out because we're conscientious beings. And if that conscientiousness isn't being channeled or recognized in the output of work or development, then we get stressed. And so if you're serving business owners, which you likely are as an agency owner, you need to recognize that their main primary concern all day, every day is growth. But business growth is not business growth, it's personal growth, but in the form of business. So when you grow a business or when you get someone more customers or help them achieve a different level of income, you've grown their business, but really a business is a reflection of the person that runs it. And so for me and my business partner, Bo, with Imperium, for example, when we grow Imperium, we recognize that we're growing a business, but the only way we can grow a business is by growing ourselves. And by growing ourselves, we become the people who grow the business. And so the business is a reflection of who we are or who we have been. And the amount of money you make is pretty much a mirror of the quality of entrepreneur that you are. And the only sole thing that interests me these days is how far I can take myself. And I've now recognized that the money I make is nothing but a scoreboard and a log point of how much development and progress I've made. And this is quite apparent when you look at yourself in terms of plateaus and you plateau at a certain level. And what you'll probably observe is if you ever hit a plateau in business, all that is just you not developing. You've capped. Your skills and your beliefs and your traits are keeping this thing here. And as soon as you improve your skills and your traits and your beliefs, the limit is removed and the business can proceed to grow. And so what you're doing as an agency, to sort of bring this back in a second and I'll get into Myro, is you're helping people go through an identity transformation because you're growing their business. And so the identity transformation we help agency owners go through, there's two of them. The first one is we help agency owners who are glorified freelancers. They're not agency owners. They're glorified freelancers who like to believe they're agency owners, but deep down know they're not. And so what we do is we go to these glorified freelancers, and by glorified freelancer, I mean a person with a VA or a person on their own, right? They buy a course and then they suddenly think they're an agency owner. There's nothing wrong with that. It was me. It's probably you. It's okay. But you're not an agency owner. You're a glorified freelancer. You do all the work. You do everything. Everything runs through you. It's a centralized business and you're being paid for your time. You're a freelancer. You're not an agency owner. And so you know this, but you don't want to admit it to yourself. And so what we do is we know that that's the case because it's what we were. And we go to these agency owners, glorified freelancers, no insult intended. And we say to them, hey, listen, our purpose is to take you from the identity of glorified freelancer and to take you to the point where you're an agency owner with reliable systems and a team around you. And so there's a significant sort of character arc here. If you look at any movie or any TV show and you watch a TV show for a long enough period of time, you'll notice that characters change and they develop and they improve or sometimes they regress. And if you're attracted to a TV show where the main character is continuously improving, it demonstrates that you're actually interested in this level of improvement. It's a projection. But when you're here and you want to be here, you see this as money. So you think, I'm currently making 5,000 a month doing everything my own, and I want to get to 30,000 a month and have people do things for me. But fundamentally, below the financial goal sits this unconscious desire for personal development. And if we can actually tap into the unconscious desire of personal development, we are far more likely to strike oil and to resonate with these people and be able to sell to them. So the other type of agency owner we work with is someone who's already making a lot of money and they have a team, but everything runs through them and it's chaos and they have no systems and no predictable way of getting clients and no scalability and no growth, and they plateau. And so they're agency owners, but they're plateaued agency owners, and we call them do everything entrepreneurs, or the man who wears many hats, right? Is another word we used to call them. And as soon as, if I say to an agency owner in this position, I'm like, so John, so to put it into words then, so it sounds to me like you're just wearing too many hats right now. They know exactly what that means. It hits them right in the core of them because that's their identity. They're an agency owner wearing too many hats, and that's the problem. And so they might want to go from 50K a month to 100K a month financially, but the real transformation they want to make underneath that, the character arc that defines that development financially, is actually the premise that they want to stop wearing hats. And so I say this on sales calls. I'm like, John, my purpose is just to take some of your damn hats off, right? Or to just decentralize your business in such a way that less things have to run through you. And we want to replace you. I say this in sales calls. My job is to replace you with SOPs and mechanisms that run themselves. And so, yeah, this is how we create offers. And so, you know, if you're in the e-commerce space or if you're in the appointment booking space or whatever your niche is, you need to look at them and you need to think, what do these people want to become, right? You need to remember the money because the money is generally the thing that's going to attract them the most. But when you're selling to them and when you're on a sales call and you're getting intimate with their psyche and understanding exactly what they want, you've got to recognize what these people want to achieve. And so I'm able to look at the agency owner space because I've been an agency owner. I've been the agency owner who goes from glorified freelancer to with a system. And I've been the agency owner who goes from doing everything to having people do things for him. So I know these sort of levels of transformation that I've undergot. And in going through those transformations, I'm able to resonate with people. But if you haven't got the luxury of having done it yourself, you need to seriously think about what your clients want. So we used to work in the gym space. Well, I say we used to, we still do. I'm just not really involved in the business anymore that runs it. But what we found is we had micro gym owners And by a micro gym owner is someone that has like one location and they're usually struggling and they can't get it to work. And what we did is we realized they wanted to go from being a micro gym owner to a multi-micro gym owner, where they either franchise their location or they sell it, or all of these things. So maybe they want to go from being a struggling gym owner to an exited entrepreneur, someone who's built gyms and sold them. And then, you know, we've got these sort of like financial things here at the top, and we see these, and this is what we can see, and this is how the subconscious desire for development manifests in terms of financially, because deep down we know that money is a representation of how much progress we made, and we look at underneath and we think, what do we help people do? So if you work with e-commerce stores, for example, you've got to think like, you know, what am I helping people do here? Why do they start the e-commerce business? What do they envisage themselves becoming? When they started this e-commerce store, before they ran into all the problems that came with actually building the store, what do they want for themselves? Like, do they want to become like, you know, maybe you help like struggling e-commerce store, and struggling's a very sort of universal word you can use, but you really want to become a little bit more specific than that. So like, you know, we help e-commerce store owners struggling, you know, insert word here that denotes what they resonate with. We help struggling e-commerce owners become, you know, like multi-8-figure brand owners, or we help store owners become brand owners. You know, you've got to look at these things they want and what they want to become, and the underpinning transformation is the secret. So I'm just going to quickly cut a clip in here of me sort of breaking down how this works in my row real quick, and we'll take a look.
Right then, so the way to sort of think about this is to, you know, just going to sort of map out exactly what I've just sort of explained. So we have traditionally in business financial goals. But it helps to understand that financial goals are, like, if you think about what a goal is for a second and like what it actually means, a goal is a stated desire for a future which is usually significantly less painful than the current experience we sit in. Now, what we can then recognize is that if we're in that goal, it's likely that we're a different type of person, or we've improved a certain aspect of ourselves, because most pain is actually underpinned by like not having what we want, right? And if we get what we want, we become a different person, because people see their identities based around what they have, and what they have is usually what they have wanted prior to having it, right? So let's say your prospect is, you know, currently making 10k a month, and you know their goal is to get to 50k a month. Now, the interesting thing about drawing goals is everyone almost always draws an upwards arrow, right? Because it indicates progress towards a better future, and we significantly associate going up with improvement. That's why heaven is above us and hell is below us, right? We don't want to go down, we want to go up. And so what we can recognize is that at the 10k a month mark, there's a collective identity. So people that make this money in their business, so this could be agency owners, it's like, okay, I am a 6-figure agency owner, right? And that's sort of like, what's this here? I don't know what this is. Myra seems to have added something weird. I'm going to ignore it. So like, I'm a 6-figure agency owner, but I want to become a multi-6-figure agency owner, right? And like, this is an identity shift. This sort of long arc here in the bottom is actually the thing that people want to undergo, but they may not recognize it. And so that's how we visualize it. It really isn't any more complicated than that. So when you're looking at your offer and what you're helping people achieve, you need to turn your agency needs to be a vehicle for this to happen, right? So when you're selling to people, you need to be able to say, look, John, I know that this is you, and I know what you're like, and I know what your proclivities are, and I know what your characteristics are, and I know what heuristics you use to make decisions, and I know how you feel, and I empathize with your situation, and I know exactly what your day looks like. I also know what proclivities you want. I know what characteristics you want. I know what you want your day to look like, and I know what heuristics you want to use to make decisions. I'm just going to help you do the latter instead of the former. If you can tell people you can do that and do it for them, you'll be very rich. So that's everything from me. I hope this video has been useful for you. There are 2 things to do next. In the description, there will be a link to a funnel. No bullshit, it's a funnel. Wow, it's going to sell you something, right? There's no 997 course in sight, but I would invite you, I am inviting you to a demo of our program that helps agency owners scale and get more customers. Now, if you're a glorified freelancer or a do everything entrepreneur and wearing many hats and basically burning yourself out and spinning your wheels, then we might be able to help you grow your business and have more fun and make more money. We might not, but if we can, it might be a good idea to talk to us. So you can use the link in the description to book a call, and you can also see some testimonials there. That's it. There's no bullshit, right? I'm not going to say, oh, go to my webinar or buy this, have this free thing, or no, it's crap, right? Just a demo shows you how it works. Below that will be a Facebook community that you can go through and join for free. In that group, we share videos like this and other 7-figure tools and resources that we've developed for our agency that also help our paying clients as well. So I'd invite you to join both those ones, and if you have any questions, you can pop them in that group as well. So that's everything from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and like the video. If you like the video and you want to comment and you subscribe, you can. Do not, for the love of God, turn on your notifications, because, well, that would mean you're being distracted. I want you to check out this channel even when you need it. I don't want to come to you, you come to me. Not in that like hierarchical sense, but in the sense that I don't want to be blasting your phone with notifications and distracting you from important work, right? So that's everything from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.